Hey, everybody. Good morning. Well, afternoon. It's already 1 o'clock here. It's probably morning for some people, it's probably evening for others. I'm going to go over something that was brought to my attention last night. I clicked on Jodisue's stream. It was very late, and she was discussing some things, specifically a creator that was attacking her for the way that she speaks, because Jody does have issues with her speech. Some days are better than others. We all know that Jody has had the muscles in her neck completely. She had a surgical procedure that affected the muscles in her neck, which affect her speech. So she was very upset about that. Hey, Pixie, you messaged me. Okay, I think I know what it's about. I'll check it when I'm done. All good. Love you, by the way. I miss you. Where was I? Okay, so Jody, she was discussing that one situation. And while she was discussing that, she brought up the fact that she had given out some pretty important information earlier in the day, which I had missed because I was live doing the live for summer, like the timeline, all like just the facts and whatnot. And I missed a lot of what went on yesterday. So it was very late, and it kept me up actually for quite a while. But I did end up going to sleep. I fell asleep trying to make a video. It didn't work out so well. That's why I came live, because I figured if I make a video, it's going to take me hours to do it, because there's so many things I want to talk about. There's so many things that fit into this timeline of Jodisue's. Now, I know that law enforcement has claimed that the scream is unfounded. I am aware of that, but I'm still going to discuss what Jody is bringing forth. I think it's important. If one of my mods could drop Jodisue's link to her channel, I'll pin it so people know where to find her. I want to make sure that that's in my chat. I am playing her content. Jody was having a really bad night last night. I've never seen Jody cry like I saw her last night. I think this is probably taking its toll on her, and rightfully so. I can't imagine being in her position. Now, I think it's probably important to say Jody and I'm still, a little upset about the non-reaction to the bones, but that doesn't change anything for me. I'm not going to hold that against her. In a nutshell, this is the way I feel about Jody. She is the only one that I know of that I've heard speak out of that holler for summer. That's what matters to me. I have never seen anyone else from Ben Hill Road speak out for summer, put their safety on the line. Yes, her kids heard it as well. She and her children claim to have heard the scream. So I put a lot of stock into what she heard. I believe her. When it comes to the scream, I believe her, and I always have believed her. Now, this is, people are going to probably ask questions. The number one question is always going to be, why now? Why is she saying this now? I can't answer that question. All I know is she is speaking, and that's all that matters. This could actually mean everything to Summer, and she's there. She's the one not there anymore, but she was there. She was feet from that property. I'm not sure if people are aware, Jodisue's cabin was a little over 400 feet from the Wells property line. So that counts for something when it comes to Jodi. And I have to appreciate what this woman is doing. She gets a lot of shit for, you know, sitting online day after day. She's actually letting us into her thought process. And while I haven't paid attention to what Jodisue has been talking about over the last, I would say, month or so since the bone situation, I kind of stopped listening to, I was listening religiously, searching for any answer possible. People are very mean. You're absolutely right, Loose Lie. I absolutely agree with you. I have never seen such evil people, but this is what happens online. There's a lot of really miserable people who will say things about you that aren't true. We all deal with it, right? Anybody who puts themselves out there is open for criticism. And we've all had our share of trolls. We've all had our share of people judging. And it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. But what she explained yesterday in this video, and I'm going to drop the link for you guys so that you have it. This is the live stream that I'm pulling from, and this is what I'm going to be playing for you. Let me just stick this here. This would be 313. So she did this yesterday. It does ask that if you do have an opinion about Jodisue, please be kind. If you don't trust her or if you don't agree with her, just please don't insult her. That's all. While I'm playing this, I don't want anybody to disrespect her. And I trust that my mods will keep an eye on that. And as always, just give them a warning. If anybody comes in being disrespectful, give them a warning, pluck the comment, let them know, time them out next. And if you have to block anybody, please take screenshots of the reason why you had to block them, because it's important we don't lose comments. Once you block someone, all comments are erased from my channel indefinitely. So you can't ever get those back. I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Hey, Trina, Betty Boop, Critical Thinking Crime, Gigi, Nika Crafts, Jenny, Lady May. Tiffany has a beautiful voice, and I need my daughter Tiffany. Oh, was she an 80s baby? I think Tiffany was like an 80s name. Thank you, by the way. Miss Frankie Carey, Luda Lee, Memphis Mommy Mars, Chase. Okay, Pixie. Dodie. Okay. So let's get into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably help you guys. There's no closed captioning available on this video. So anyone who comes in asking, just let them know there's no closed caption. This one doesn't have it available. I know people like sometimes I'll rely on the closed caption. Like I had a very hard time with this one. This one was hard to understand her. I kept playing it over and over and over, trying to figure out the words. So some of it is a little bit inaudible. Please be respectful. She was having a really bad day when it came to speech. That was clear to see. And I don't want anybody disrespecting her. That's all. Okay. So TBI has the info. Thank you. What big eye. So Jodisue has been in contact with the TBI. She's kept in very close contact with the TBI. And there's nothing Jodisue will say that she has not put out. I'm not going to put it on 2-speed, actually. I put it on 1.25 because 2-speed isn't really helpful. Like I said, it's very hard to even understand some of the words when it's slowed down. So if anybody thinks 2-speed is going to help on this one, it's not. I promise I tried it. So just bear with me while I'll try to help the best I can. Like I said, some things I wasn't able to clearly hear, but yeah, we're not going to do that, Chase Levitz, because I don't know anything about that. I see you. Please, that's and no offense, but I don't. That's not someone that I plug here. Maybe if things were different, I would. People will find it. That's someone who's been very unkind to me, so I don't want his name in my chat. Actually, if you don't mind retracting it. Okay, so, and no offense, Chase Levitz, at all. I saw your comments above. Mods, if you could just pluck those, please. Nikki says, I have no problem with Jodisue. Listening to her is pure mental workout for me. I'm French Canadian, and with the accent and her health problem, it's hard for me. Nikki, it's okay. We'll get through it. It's fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it, Chase. You didn't know. It's totally okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Lost Gypsy. Hey, how are you? Okay. Sarisa, how are you? Happy Monday. Yeah, it's a new week, a new day. All right. So I'm going to start playing this. And if you guys need any help, What Big Eyes is in the chat. What Big Eyes knows about this. She made a video this morning, actually. I just saw it an hour ago or 2 hours ago or so. And thank you, What Big Eyes, for getting that out there so quickly. It would take me 4 hours to put a video together, because once I start doing a video, I'm like, well, I want to put this, I want to put this, and I want to put this. And then I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't put my opinion, because I don't want to project, right? Like my opinion onto the masses, because I hate doing that, but it's so hard, you know? So if anybody needs any help, just ask one of the mods and keep it respectful. This is a really big deal, actually. What Jodisue is about to talk about is serious in every way, and it needs to be heard. So if you want to share Jodisue's video out, or you want to share mine out, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Whatever works for me. Whatever works for you. Ay, vey. I've been live too many days in a row. Okay. So, I mean, it sounded horrible. Let me see. Hey, Elisa54. Listen, Louise, I feel the same way. I have always said it's the smallest thing that could make all the difference. You know what? There is absolutely something here. And I think that as time goes by, maybe she is remembering. And let me just say this. So I was thinking about this last night. Jodisue's had a really hard time hearing the scream, like trying to remember the scream, trying to remember things that she heard around her home that day. And it makes me wonder if there's, well, obviously there's trauma, right? And if you've ever been in a traumatic situation, it's very easy to dissociate from that situation. And I really think that that might be why Jodi is having a hard time remembering some of these things. But as time goes on, I believe things are starting to come back to her a little bit. Whether you believe Jodisue or not, let's just listen to this and we can talk about it after. I'm not going to try to stay live for a long time. I want this to be easy for people to follow. And yes, the scream haunts her. I agree with you. I see that every time she talks about it. And it's so sad to watch. I think that Jodi is going through a lot right now. I've noticed she's lost a lot of weight. I think she's really stressed, but this is a season in her life that will come to pass. I pray sooner than later. I think this is mental torment and torture for her. She is desperately begging for answers for Summer. So let's listen to what she has to say. Let me take this down. Hey, Evil Exists. I clicked on you on accident. You watched this earlier today. She looks so sad. She was crying last night. Evil Exists. I guess Hip Lock was really throwing digs at her when it comes to her cancer. So way to go. Way to go, Hip Lock. We don't make fun of people with cancer here. So if you see something, say something, call people out on that. It's not acceptable. It's such common sense to know what she's going through. I don't understand how people can question. One eye open, it's because people are so hesitant to just believe anything. That's why. It's because people don't trust. People are skeptical, and we have to understand that part as well. I question certain things when it comes to Jodisue. I've questioned things right in front of you guys. You know what I mean? It's hard, you know, when you've got the sheriff saying everyone's a suspect. You know, she said something last night. She said, the police are saying something to the effect of, the police are saying everyone's a suspect. And she said, they should treat me like a suspect. You know, she's down for that. She doesn't even care. She's like, whatever, a suspect or not, I want Summer found at all, whatever it takes. And pray for her safety, because she really is speaking out on some things that, you know, Jody is, she's a strong chick. She can handle this, I think. But I'm sure it is taking a toll, like I said, and I can see it. I've watched long enough to know this is really got her. So, all right. Now I'm going to try to help with certain parts. So, guys, I'll know before you even say anything that you can't understand what she's saying. So let me pull my laptop a little bit closer to me. I'm going to open up my chat, pop that out on my phone. Yeah, there's lots of support here for Jody, and I hope that she knows she's not alone in this. Hold on a sec. Let me press play here. I'm going to start it from like the 9-minute mark. I think things really start getting going around like 13 minutes or so. So let's hear her out.
Wednesday and days. Wednesdays. I want to know for that I spent not long after June 15th wishing for better and what I've been used to. Either way. Um, for me in those first days, and as things progressed, you know, I had so many. It's like Flash.
So she's talking about how she wished for better in the days after June 15th. And now she goes into the flash. So do you remember the flash? The flash that she explained? Yes, she is talking, Sasha. Please put your volume up. If you can't hear, go to a quieter area and turn up your volume, please. I have my volume all the way up. You may need to, I I am all the way. Her volume is all the way. The only way to get it up higher would be for me to record it in my iMovie and up the volume, and that would take a while. This is a 3-hour video. So, yes, the volume is all the way up. I have my mic muted. Put your headphones in, guys. Like I said, I will make sure to tell you all the important parts. So she's talking about the flash. If you have a quiet room to sit in, to watch this and listen, it might help.
Please help me not to leave me. Like, and I still there, like, I don't know, the way you're told repeatedly it's normal for things to come to you and to do this and to do that and to just hold on and just to wait, just to do it. And my brain is on fire the whole time. It's still on fire. It won't stop. It will not stop. Um, in the way you're questioning during these things, right? It's like you have 100 people, one after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. You have small groups and singles and, whatever, but you're asked different questions, you're asked whatever, everything has to fit in line and in a box. It has to fit in a box. And as we all know, everything doesn't fit in a box.
Okay, so for anybody who can't hear, she's talking about how I think, and I don't want to speak for Jodisue. I hate when I have to do this because I always hope I'm not getting it wrong. Not her, but what I gather from what she just said is that everything has to fit in a box. So the questioning and all of the timeline of events and the things that she's been questioned about, she feels that they all have to fit in a tiny box. Like everything has to line up, everything has to be, and it's not that way. It's not that way for her. Not, this isn't a fit in the box moment. I feel like maybe she can't please everybody when it comes to telling this story of what she knows, what she heard. It's not easy for her to basically conform to what everybody else wants. Like it's just like a lot of pressure. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's what she's trying to say. So hold on one sec. I know you guys, I know you can't hear. If you can't hear, put your volume up, stick some headphones in. I should probably make a banner so I don't have to repeat myself over and over again. Give me a second. Let me write this really quick so I'm not pounding in your ear. I'm going to mute real quick.
Except ironically myself, apparently. Nothing's ever black and white. Nothing's ever.
She said nothing's ever black and white.
This point, nothing ever just is. Right? And as time moves forward, as the days move forward, they're not wrong. Things start, and start falling. They start, it's such chaos. And then you rain. The noises and walking the banks. And of course, you've got Andy and all that garbage happening in the middle. On top of at that point, a year of just the absolute worst things that one brought up the next. And there are things as they ask and they go along, and there's a spider web, there's a picture. But you can't make those fit in the box. You can't explain. And you just keep wishing for things that were better over at once. Realize quickly that you're kind of stuck with subpar at best. Mm. And then subpar turns full asshole and everybody else follows suit and you're just like, fuck this. For me, recently there have been things that are, I don't know, I wish I could explain how these spider webs and puzzles and things go. But I know that early on that I'm told in there that there's supposedly calls made to they don't have reason to doubt statements until after I come on fully, right? And then the calls are released and the times are at 6:21, 6:23.
Okay, so Jody's talking about the phone calls to 911, and she believes that, guys, I can't check messages. Please don't ask me to open messages right now. I can't do this all at the same time. So if anybody's asking me to answer messages, I'm not doing that right now. I apologize. I don't have that kind of focus. I'm like so ADD already to begin with listening to this. So I'm trying to focus on this so I can break it all down for you. She's talking about the 911 calls and that one came in at 6:21 and 6:23. Now, whether that is true or not, I don't know. I have always heard 6:26. I'm sticking with 6:26, but Jody said 6:21 and 6:23. I know that there are some creators that have said that. I'm not really concerned too much with um, differing opinions on what time a phone call came into 911. It was around 6:30. That's what the TBI wanted us to know. Jodisue is talking about what she knows to be true. So she is explaining there's one call that came in at 6:21 and one call that came in at 6:23. Okay. And she's also explaining that things that she was told are not exactly what, like things that she was told are not exactly what she believes they are. Janet, I can't help you. If you can't understand, please go to a quiet room and put your earbuds in.
And everybody's pretty adamant those are the only calls that exist in the first place.
So she says I was she was under the assumption that those were the only calls that existed in the first place.
But for the longest time, I was under the assumption that the first call was just like that one, that they should have went in earlier, right? But I never stopped enough to. And I thought, well, it's just them keeping shit to themselves.
So now she goes on to explain that some of them, all right, so some of the differences between what she knew to be true, listen, Sammy, goodbye. Some of the things that she knew to be true in the first place that maybe things she didn't know or things that didn't fit for her were because of protecting the integrity of the case. So she didn't say much. She was basically just, okay, well, maybe they can't talk about this, or maybe because of, the integrity of the case, they're not discussing this. So she was riding it out, going with the flow. This is what I'm just kind of narrating and breaking it down for you so that you understand what she's saying. I'm only understanding this because I went through it last night and played it over and over and word for word, wrote it all down. So she's saying that she felt she didn't want to overstep by saying, well, I know this, right? Because she felt that maybe Don and Candace were keeping things quiet for the integrity of the case, okay? Which I totally understand. No, Jodisue does not. Actually, I can speak on that. I've seen it. Jodisue does not. I don't know, Bella Zoe. I can clear this up. When she's talking about Summer, she does not have her Venmo linked. She doesn't put that up unless she's talking about domestic abuse or her life. When it's about Summer, her link for, I don't know if it's a Cash App or a Venmo, she doesn't pin it. So yes, I can absolutely clear that up. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've watched, I've observed. If she's talking about Summer, it's not up there. If you go in there talking about Summer when she has her Venmo linked, the mods will correct you and tell you we are not discussing Summer right now. She doesn't pin her Venmo when she's talking about Summer. That's a fact.
Not for the public, not dismissed, and
No, no, Meep. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I said this right so you understand. She's talking about things that she would hear in the beginning. She didn't want to say something that maybe could hurt the case. So she was saying, well, I know that this was said, or I know that this was said, but I or this was missing and this wasn't being spoken about. So she did not want to insert so that she didn't ruin anything, right? Maybe Don and Candace aren't saying this because, or Grandis are not saying this because it was supposed to be kept private. You understand? That's what I'm trying to explain. So she talks about the scream. It's not that she can't talk about it. She's talking about in the beginning certain things that weren't said. She didn't want to say because she didn't want to ruin anything or screw it up. Things that were said that she might not have understood. Do you get it? Okay, good. I just want to make sure, Meep. Good afternoon, Donna. Welcome.
Um, but I know I'm told that calls are made way before then. Never.
So she's saying I was told that calls were made before then. So she was told that phone calls were made before.
For other reasons out. Um, until the time of those not, and then uh, and I still think, well, let's just let the one released to the public first. I don't say anything.
So there she says she doesn't say anything because of what would be released to the public. So certain things being released to the public, she didn't want to say anything on certain things that weren't released to the public as to make sure she didn't say anything that would hurt Summer.
But as far as like the whole group and everybody's ever sneezed, I know I was late to all this, right? And even though my videos were right before mid September on Facebook, they eventually, anyway, uh, I know there's something that solidifies for me, like they said it would, that comes and it stays for me. And problem is you don't really have anyone that you can hand all the pieces as part of the puzzle to, right? not all of it, not at once, and then because of your assumption that um, things are held back on purpose, or not mentioned, or not given, and you assume other people already know about whatever, so you just don't, you just pay it no mind, really. You know,
Listen, really quick, I just want to make sure I will allow all opinions. Please let all opinions stay as long as they're respectful. Now, I know that like that wanting to protect feeling kicks in, but please let everyone have an opinion as long as no one is bashing her, or it's okay for people to have doubt. Let those comments stay, guys. It's okay. That is the best way to handle this, is to let people have those questions, let people have those opinions. They're not wrong to have questions. They're not wrong to have opinions. And I know the mods are wonderful. I appreciate you guys so much. Um, but let's try to keep an open chat. I really, really, really want to keep an open chat and allow questions. And if people have doubts, it's okay. Doubting things is fine. It's fine. Um, let's not time anybody out for opinions, as long as they're being, yes, freedom of speech, as long as they're being respectful. I'm just noticing that some comments are getting moderated, and I thank you guys because I appreciate it. I want those questions to stay. Let people ask questions, and let's try to work together to understand. It's absolutely okay. I have questions too. We all have questions. But what she's about to tell you is very important. Whatever ends up to be true, ends up to be true. This is all relevant. It all matters. I don't know what happened to Summer. We don't know what happened to Summer. Jody is explaining things, and if people have questions, it is fine. If someone comes in here and says, I don't believe Jody, that's okay. You don't have to. No one has to. I'm not sitting here saying, believe everything Jody's saying. Let's all have our own opinions. As long as you keep it respectful, I'm good with that. So, just so I don't want it to be too heavily moderated, please, because this is summer first always. If people have questions, it's okay. I don't want to be distracted by the chat because I really want to be able to help you guys hear what she's saying and get through this. So everyone in the chat, try to hang in there, okay?
but you do, and then as the weeks and everything else progress, I mean, you kind of want to be damn sure, you know. Um, and then sometimes it's a very real lack of being asked the right things. Uh, then as things have gotten weirder lately, you're like, man, maybe, just maybe, the possibility exists that other people don't know, and that things you've assumed existed don't actually. So therefore, maybe nobody has a clue. And then you hear a tone in somebody's voice with a certain clip. That's great. But the thing is, for me, there were a few things there on June 15th. They're so, well, it's like, what about Candace said to me, right? At the tiles after 6:09 p.m. I mean, right then, it's bullshit. Jello. Not doing any other damn day of the week, right?
So basically, in a nutshell, she's calling bullshit on Candace. She's calling bullshit on everything. The 6:09 p.m. when she allegedly met Candace in the driveway while Candace was coming down. She's calling bullshit on her. How do I understand her? I've been listening to Jodi for a long time. She's not that hard to understand, and you just have to listen. I know it's a little bit hard sometimes, but I understand pretty much everything she says. Sometimes there'll be a sentence I have to rewind a couple times and listen to, but it's totally fine.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. You were, typical nonsense. Yeah, no clue where she's. And I think that's the reason my brain just didn't. It was like, meh, what the hell this is garbage. Might as well throw it out the window, right? And I did. My brain was like, meh, whatever this is bullshit. It's not worth cataloging. And then at the point,
So she's explaining that in her mind, some of the things that were told to her or said to her, she didn't hold on to. She says, I didn't catalog it. So what she's saying is she pushed certain out because she didn't think they were relevant at the time. So think of a time of chaos. Okay. So say that something happens, say there's a car accident outside your house and everything's moving so quickly and there's multiple cars involved and certain things don't matter, right? Certain things do. In the moment of that traumatic experience, she's saying, I didn't catalog that because I didn't think it was important. Certain things she didn't think was important. And certain things she did, right? Certain things I notice and hang on to, certain things I don't. Other people will be like, did you hear this or do you remember this? And I'm like, you know what? I didn't even catch that. I didn't even latch onto that. But then other things stand out more to me. So she's explaining her thought process. Basically, I did not retain this, whatever it is, XYZ, because at the moment, my brain did not send that signal that this was important. This was more important. So everybody's different. Everybody's going to retain certain information, think that certain things are more important than another. I think that's what she's trying to express. And like I said before, please know I'm not speaking for her. If I fuck something up and Jodi wants to correct me, she can. Absolutely. I'm trying my best to not speak for her, but to explain what I hear. So my interpretation might not be perfect, and it might not even be even 75% accurate. But I hope that I'll do a good job explaining what I hear for you guys. Thanks for, by the way.
that's right, heading up the driveway. There's something wrong with it. Otherwise, I would have never asked in the first place. To my son, who was like, and because of his flippant response, I was anchors, my brain.
So she's talking about her son talking about what he was hearing. So I believe she's speaking about the flash right now. Flash is the car going up the Wells driveway. She explained that there was a vehicle that went up the driveway, but she didn't see the vehicle. She heard it. She heard the traction of the tires on the rocks, and she saw the flash. So the flash could be, you know, when a car goes by, drives by your house, and the reflection hits off the wall. Like if you have your shades open and the sun hits just right, you'll see a flash go across the house. That's what I believe the flash she's speaking about. A flash. So a car drives by the house, the sunlight hits the windows right, and it bounces off whatever it might be. Like I'm sitting in my kitchen, so the flash could bounce off. I have a mirror over my stove and things like that. Like it'll bounce off and reflect. I believe that's the flash.
Just almost damn near tossed that out too, just because it was such a, you know, wouldn't have, you know, I know. So that's why it was still, I know there's something wrong with it. I know because of me asking, you know, so it kind of stays. But I'd almost tossed it too. And bringing you the screen, right? 4:30, 4:40.
So now she's at the scream 4:30 to 4:42. In between 4:30 and 4:42, that was when she heard the scream. That's never changed. Jodi changed. That is not something she's ever tweaked or anything. 4:30 to 4:42, she heard the scream. So she's recalling the scream.
Somewhere right now. Um, the thing is that while I'm getting ready that day, I'm putting my clothes on, changing out PJs, right? I'm getting ready. And the moments over the time on that, right? I'm not sure. But I know that it would be, you know, when I expected, which is generally at that time, you know, him to be in by 6. Because he gets off at 5:30.
So she's saying that she was getting ready. She was changing into her pajamas and day clothes. And Andy was getting off of work at 5:30. So she's, you know, she wanted to be ready for 6 o'clock. And she explains that she's about to explain that she was standing at the left side of the end of the bed and she was staring at the electrical box. Now, whatever the electrical box is, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's like if she has an electrical box in the cabin or whatever the electrical box means to her. She knows where she was standing at the very moment. Yes, the scream was reported to law enforcement, Amber. Yes. Jodi reported the scream to law enforcement, and law enforcement said it was unfounded. She and her daughter, all three of them heard the scream. That's their account. So Jodi's talking about this this listen, I don't know what I don't know if that's true when evil entered, right? So when evil entered said Fred saw Andy between 3 and 3:30. We need proof of that, right? Does he have proof of that? Fred, all right, I'm not gonna get into that, but okay, so we'll take that into consideration. neighbor that said he also said he saw Don and Candace as well on foot walking up to his house. Anyway, so let me get back to this. It is like a game of Clue. It's it's much harder than Clue. So she's talking about how she changed into her pajamas, into her day clothes. Andy was getting off work soon. She was going to go down for 6 o'clock.
And I know that after we came in from the scream and all that, right? I was back inside the cabinet 4:52.
So she arrived back inside her cabin at 2. She heard the scream between 4:30 and 4:42. So let me put this in the chat for you guys because I want you to retain this information she's saying. So she heard the scream between 4:30 and 4:42 and was back in her cabin at 4:52. So 10 minutes after. So that would mean Jody and her kids were outside for about 10 minutes after they heard that scream. Remember back in the beginning when Jody said they went outside, they came back in, and I believe she said, if I recall correctly, that I don't know if it was her son or her daughter, one of them could hear. This was way back in the very beginning. One of them could still hear it, but she couldn't hear it anymore. So put that in the chat. So 4:30, between 4:30 and 4:42, she heard the scream. She was back inside her cabin at 4:52. It was her son that okay. So her son can. Oh, her daughter. See, I thought it was her daughter because she said she was still standing out by the door. Either or, one of her children could still hear audibly. They could hear something, but she could not hear. Okay, What Big Eye says it was her daughter. Thank you, What Big Eyes. Okay, so you were right, Deborah. How did I think it was her son? It gets muddy after a while. You don't remember everything. It's very easy to confuse the stories that you hear. So we've got a 10-minute. That would mean Jody and the kids were outside. Her kids, her son and her daughter, they went outside after they heard the scream. That would mean she was out there for 10 minutes with the kids. She was back inside at 4:52. So there's a 10-minute little gap there. She was outside looking around, trying to figure out what the hell they just heard, right?
Kids and I continued talking, etc., for a little bit. And then after that, I was getting ready.
So they came in, she was talking with the kids for a little while, and then she continued to get ready.
And another message is good with timeline and do good with timeline for around when I would have been getting ready.
I need to back that one up. Hold on one sec. This one's hard. I think this is the one I struggled with to hear. Let me look at my notes really quick. So let's see. I have the kids in. Her kept talking. She was getting ready. All right. I didn't write down what she said. Hold on one sec. Let me see if I can hear this. If I can't, it's just going to be inaudible for me. So let me see if I can lean in a little bit and hear this. Hold on a sec.
That I was getting ready. And another message will do the timeline and do the timeline for around when I would have been getting ready.
Okay, so what I think she said, and I'm not 100% on this, I think what she's saying is that the messages in her phone helped with the timeline, like remembering the timeline. So she relies heavily on what she was doing on the phone. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I'll refer back to text messages, like, what time did that happen? Let me see what time my mom called me, or let me see what time so and so by, or let me see what time I left to do this and what time I came back. Like, you try to rely on your routine or whatever was going on to remember a certain time, because our phones are very reliable when it comes to that, like remembering a certain time. We know we texted someone at this particular time, et cetera, et cetera. So this, I think that's what she was trying to say, that she was relying on the messages that she had been sending in her phone to rely on for her timeline, to remember certain times. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe that's what she was saying.
And it damn sure had to be before 6:09, obviously.
So she says here it was damn sure before 6:09 at least.
And I was already ready when, we were talking about on the messenger that he was going to be late and whatnot. And I was like, well, I'll go ahead and head down a little early and just mess with my flowers.
Okay, so she was ready. She was ready for Andy to come home. She was dressed, and she said, all right, well, he was gonna be late. So she said, I'm gonna head down and mess with the flowers. I believe she said she was gonna water her flowers. So she was waiting for Andy to come home. He was running a little late. She said, I'm just gonna head down and mess with flowers while I wait for him.
So sometime in there, it never takes me long. Like, I mean, I didn't put makeup on the day, didn't do any of that. It was basically slipping out of one set of clothing into another, and I know what I was wearing that day. It wasn't anything spectacular, took extra effort or anything. Uh, there's another sound, and
So she's about to tell you there's another sound. She remembers another sound. And this is the part, okay? I'm happy that she's not struggling as much to remember certain things. So she says there was another sound.
left, bottom of the bed, standing up, and I'm facing the electrical box right in the left corner. And I hear a Suburban.
So she's recalling standing at the left side of the end of her bed and she heard the Suburban. Amber, listen, you know what? This isn't funny, Amber. Nothing about this is funny, okay? Whether you believe her or not, if you're not here for summer, you can leave. Nothing is funny. This isn't funny. No one's fucking laughing, Amber, except you. Nothing about this is fucking funny. You asshole. What is wrong with you people? Sick. My God, just get her out of here. I timed her out. Just put her on block. I'll unblock her later. Stop coming in here being rude. She's telling you she heard another sound. Another sound, laughing faces. What if this is what actually brings justice to Summer? You'll never know, right? We'll never know if people like you are ignoring it and laughing at it because it's such a joke. Nothing is funny about this. Summer is still missing. She is out there. She's out there alone. And you know what? Jody is the only one in that holler talking about this. She is racking her brain trying to remember things, and I'm watching it. How would you like to live next to the Wells and live with the fact that you can't remember shit because you have no idea that a child was about to go missing and you ignored something that was important? And as the memories are coming back and things are floating back in, we have Amber laughing at it. You're sick, Amber. Hey, Killer Lux.
I hear it. I don't hear it. I don't think go down, but I did hear it go up.
So she's telling you she saw this. Excuse me. Sorry, I take that back. Got to retract that. She's not telling you she saw it. So these people got me so wound up. I can't remember what I'm about to say. Screw me all up. So she's telling you she heard the Suburban. She knows what she heard. So this is the Suburban. Does everybody remember does everybody remember the interview with Brian Enton and the interview with Chris McDonough? This is the Suburban. I tried to lighten the photo for you guys. It's green. It's like a forest green. I lightened it so you could see. This is the Suburban that sits in the driveway of the Wells. Let me put this on full screen for you. She's telling us she heard the Suburban go up, but she did not hear it come down. Yes, Rose. She heard it come up the driveway, but did not hear it going back down. I know when evil entered, you're right. I don't even know why I entertain them. It's just heartless. They're heartless. Whatever they might think of Jody, it's completely irrelevant. Summer's still missing, and that pisses me off. They're just rude. And sorry, yeah, sometimes I entertain the trolls. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Usually I really don't. This isn't a joke. Anyway, who drives it? Shoot the shit. I don't know for sure who drives the Suburban, but I do know Don rolled up down at the bottom of the hill in the Suburban, and it was parked right there with Brian Enton. Here's the photo of that. And, I was really surprised to see the Suburban. But you all remember Don's truck was in the shop? Chase had Don's truck in the shop. He was working on it. When Don's truck was in the shop, at Chase's shop, Don was driving this. This vehicle I've never seen used before. Never heard of it being used, but it showed up down at the bottom of the property with Brian Enton. This is the vehicle she heard. The plates were, oh my God, the plates were blurred out. That photo came from Chris's video. He blurred the plates out. Okay. All right. We don't ever hear anything about this vehicle. Absolutely right. Shoot the shit. Right. Where is the vehicle now? I believe it's up on the Wells property. So this vehicle, Don's white work truck was in the shop when Brian Enton was there. I remember because he said it. Chase went on a live. I believe it was Cher's live, actually. And he was up there. Was it Cher's live? I shouldn't say it for fact, but I believe it was Cher's live. And Chase said Don's work truck was in his shop and he was fixing it. Oh, what the hell was it that he had to fix for him? He specifically said what needed to be fixed. But Don was driving this Suburban. So let me pull her back up. Let me take this down. If you guys want to take a screenshot, take one now. No, it wasn't the brakes. It was something like a fuel pump or something. So you take a picture of that. Grab it now. And I'll put the other one back up so you can take a screenshot of that as well. Really quick. And we'll get back to Jody because she's not done. Very important here. Important stuff. All right. So if you got that screenshot, you could take this screenshot right here. This is blurred. Chris M blurred that. That's from his video. Like I said, I lightened the photo because it was pretty dark. And he blurred out the license plate on it. So that's why it looked like that. You can go to the video of Candace in the driveway with Chris and you can see it was blurred out. Let me get back to Jody. So Jody heard the Suburban go up the driveway, but she did not hear it come down. Ready? Let's continue.
And it is hitting hard, right?
She's explaining the Suburban was hitting hard on the driveway.
Right. A lot harder than usual. I hear it make full heaviness stuff, which is something I hadn't heard.
She said there was full heaviness, something she hadn't heard.
Right. I've been knowing that. I know that my brain didn't catalog the coming down of the vehicle prior to that, or that just tried to, because it's typical noises, right? You're used to them. You don't like it's them, so you don't really catalog. Just kind of toss out.
So she said because it was their vehicle and she was used to hearing it, she didn't catalog it. So she's having these memories and thinking back as to why didn't I remember this? It wasn't important to her at the time because she's used to hearing all these vehicles. Now I believe she discounted. It could have been weighed down. Yeah, Lose Lie. She said, yes, this is June 15th, the day the summer went missing. She said that it hit really hard on the driveway and it was like heavy on the driveway. Like it hit the rocks real hard. Allie did bring up the Suburban. Yes, she did.
It's the odd things you pick up on, right? Everything else is kind of. But the thing that still doesn't exist is there aren't calls for summer prior to that. Another calls.
Okay, so this is where things start to get really interesting as well. There were no calls for summer prior to this. She did not hear any calls for summer prior to this. Mama Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you, my beautiful friend, for all you're doing for summer. Oh, I'm happy to. Happy to, Mama Lisa. I just want this to be figured out. I want Summer to be found. I want her to have justice. I will sit here every day. I will pour my heart and soul into this for as long as I need to, no matter what it is. If it's important and it matters, we're going to talk about it. And Mama Lisa, thank you. I always have to say thank you. Thank you to everybody in here who dedicates all the time to Summer, because the amazing group of people that shows up here for Summer is really so special. Really, it is. As long as it takes. That's right. Hey, Joanna, how are you? If I'm not reading your comments, it's because I really want to make sure that I pay attention to this and I do a good job with it. I don't want to make any mistakes, and I have to focus on what she's saying because I want to translate to you. These are really, really important conversation she's having. This is an important conversation here that she's having. It needs to be heard. So I appreciate everyone in here, and I promise you, if I don't get your comments while I'm live, I do go back. I know a lot of people say they go back through their comments. I really do go back through my comments and I do read them. So she did not hear any screams for Summer or any calling for Summer at all before the Suburban went up the driveway. So before the Suburban went up the driveway, Jody heard no yelling for Summer. There were no screams for Summer. There was no one screaming her name. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, let me get back into this here. There were no screams for Summer.
For summer. Only start around 6:09.
It only started around 6:09. So the screams for Summer only started around 6:09. No one yelled for her that Jody could hear until 6:09.
The problem I have with that is I kept waiting. I mean, I was just, gonna do the assumption that, well, there's shit being kept from public, so it's like, oh, what's the point? Okay, whatever. And then the early days, you have C explaining that she's supposedly running back and forth and between churches.
So she's saying in the early days, you have Candace running, saying she's running back and forth between churches. Um, so in early days, Candace was saying she drove all the way down to the church. Do you remember where she says that? So she's recalling, hey, like the morning, she's recalling Candace saying she drove down to the church. So that's what she just said.
Doing whatever else, right? But you take that to mean obviously that would be after 6:09, and that's BS because you're still.
So she says, well, it would have to be after 6:09, and that's bullshit. But she's calling bullshit on Candace right here, right now.
And you had eyes on her most of that time, other than other visits and stuff to neighbors. Definitely not back in the hall and this and the other, but.
Okay, so she says that there was some back and forth with neighbors and things like that.
Then you wonder, it's like, well, was it one upswing that was heavy driveway? Was that supposed to be the time? Is that supposed to? Is that I don't believe the call should have went in at 5:30.
So she's questioning, is that why Don believes that the call came in at 5:30? Does everybody remember early on when Don said that the incident occurred at 5:30? And he said, "Oh, it must have been a mistake. I don't know how I got that wrong. I thought it was 5:30." It's okay, Deborah. You don't have to trust her, hon. No one here has to trust Jodisue. I'm not sitting here saying trust her, believe her. I'm reporting what I think is relevant. Why is this all coming out now? In my opinion, I believe she's remembering things and she's also feeling more comfortable to start saying certain things. I also don't expect anyone to believe anything. You don't have to, but it's important, and I'm not going to ignore it. I am not going to ignore it. This has been reported to the TBI, so just so you know, I truly don't believe, I could be wrong, I don't believe Jody would report something to the TBI and come back to us and say something different. Do you know what I'm saying? It's okay, Deborah. You guys can believe whatever you want. I am not going to ever tell you what to believe. You don't have to trust anybody. In fact, you're wise not to trust. Don't trust anything. Question everything, right? But we can't ignore this. I personally see someone who's struggling. And in my opinion, I believe that Jodisue cares. But has everything been perfect and hunky dory? No. But I do have a level of respect for Jody. When I see someone care about Summer, that matters to me.
Or so, and seems perplexed himself that, right? And you start getting the idea that maybe there's not hidden calls. Maybe everything you've had assumptions about are a little wrong. That phone calls to him and others that were supposed to have taken place, you were told to take place, didn't actually take place.
So she's questioning if phone calls to Dawn ever took place. She's questioning the phone calls that were supposed to take place, phone calls to law enforcement, certain phone calls to law enforcement. I'm not sure exactly what she's trying to explain, but she's questioning if certain phone calls ever really took place or if they took place at the times that she was told, et cetera, et cetera. But she's questioning here about when it comes to Dawn, because Dawn was in the beginning, it was 5:30 for Dawn, not 6:30. It's 5:30. He said they called 911 at 5:30.
And then other things start not meshing, right? You watch as Steve tries to pull timelines back and tries to put me in places I'm obviously not. And it's like, what the hell's this shit all about? Yeah. Like, what the hell is all this about? And the problem for me is that is I waited for things to solidify to make sure they were better, but all these things they get, I can see myself standing there and putting my clothes on at the left bottom and staring towards the left box, and I hear that sound, and it hits the driveway pretty hard, right? I know it's hard and it's a Suburban, but I just wanted to but that's after I've heard scream. It's after everything. Yeah. But the cops are shimmering. Not then. So if that's what's meant by, oh, I went looking, I went whatever, and riding around, and yada yada. Well, how does that make sense? Is that are those moments that supposedly all the riding around Candace claims are supposed to have taken place? And so, why the hell are you out looking everywhere else? And why are there no yells for summer yet? But yet you're off the hill, you're riding around as that wind. Because I know damn sure it wasn't taking place after 6 and 9. And I know that I would have been getting ready closer to that 5:30 mark for Andy. I would have been putting on clothes. And it's also when Ron seems to think that the call should have been made to police. And maybe he did receive the call, which is why he's perplexed about the 5:30 thing. Well, hell, it's like if he received the call, then why the hell didn't the police didn't do? Because I know damn good well the police didn't show up to a right around, so, like, it is not going to take them from 5:30 until 7 to get there. It's not for a missing child. I don't care what part of the county they were in that day. I'm telling you, they were hauling ass when they came in. They weren't playing, they weren't joking. And that shows me that the call for them did indeed come in at 6:21 or 6:23. It shows me that C called D maybe around 5:30 and did.
So Jody is saying, I believe Candace called Dawn at 5:30. Yes, Lenny, thank you. Unfounded is not dismissed. Unfounded, as it was one property, three people, and not other residents. Unfounded doesn't mean it didn't happen. They just can't prove it. I know, Morris. I know. Listen, it is what it is. We're surrounded by assholes. It is what it is. What are we gonna do about it? I appreciate my moderators, and I'm sorry it's been so rough in this chat the past couple days. I think we're getting really close to summer. I can feel it. If I don't know, I haven't been able to shake it for like a couple weeks. I really feel like they are on the tail end of this. I think it's coming. I really do. I really, really do. Let's pray. Pray to God for this baby. We're coming up tomorrow on the 9-month mark for summer. 9 months. It's long enough to have a baby. That's how long she's been gone. What time did the cops say the calls were? The cops have never come out and told us the times. Just so you know, there's never been any kind of statement put out by law enforcement that the calls came in at any certain time. Those calls are under lock and key. They've made a statement that those calls are not going to be released. So keep listening. Jody's definitely calling out the bullshit here.
Believe that he'll at some point, and then comes up at around the time, or at least she comes up that motherfucker, but still no calls for summer for it. None after it until around 6:09.
So she's saying the Suburban went up that hill. There were no calls for summer before, no calls for summer after. Not until 6:09. When Candace saw Jody, that's when they started yelling for summer. Listen, I don't care if Jody does take pain meds. I don't care. She could take as many pain meds as she wants. She's in pain. So anybody who has anything to say about Jody and pain meds, I've always said I don't judge anybody who needs pain relief. So if people are talking about her taking pain meds, who gives a shit? Even if she did. I think that's the least of anybody's worries, right? Come on. Let's be for real. And Tennessee is not a legal cannabis state. So what do they have there really for pain? Nothing? And I have no clue what Jody takes. It's not my business. She could take whatever she wants.
So why are you all, if that's what she means, why she's out running around or going places or looking in? I'm not putting up with that today. So if that's what she means, is that's when it's supposed to take place, and that she was riding around looking for summer and in the hollows, whatever, instead of implying, because she never really says we're supposed to be after she's seen me here before. I've never really heard either way. Why wouldn't there been yelling for summer prior to that? Right? Why in the hell are you looking around hollers and saying whatever for summer again if like, and then it shows at 6:09 after that the property hadn't even been looked at by you. Still yet not been. So why in the hell would you start running around driving at 5:30 something if that was the case?
So Jody says, why would you start riding around, looking around, going crazy at 5:30, right? Coming and going. The Suburban goes up the driveway. No calls for Summer. So why? She's questioning these things. I heard, and I don't know if this is true. Someone put ones in my chat. If it is true that, now I don't know if it is, that's why I'm asking. Is it true? Because I did not watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Is it true that Summer's name was not allowed to be written in a chat last night with Candace on panel? Please put a 1 in my chat if that's true. Summer's name was not allowed to be written in a chat with Candace on panel, or is that false? Anyone know? Morris says 1. Really? So Summer's name was not allowed to be written with Candace on panel. That's really. Wow. Wow. Are you kidding me? You got blocked for writing Summer's name, boss? Really? Okay. Deleted anything Summer. Really? Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Anything Summer was deleted. Not tonight? Oh, not tonight. Is that what was said? Huh. Interesting. Comments about Summer were deleted. Candace agreed to it. Two nights ago? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. They just wanted to have fun. Oh, yeah, because what did Candace say in the beginning? Time flies when you're trying to enjoy yourself. Remember that backyard interview? Time flies when you're trying to enjoy yourself. I think those were her exact words. Candace loves to enjoy herself, doesn't she? And look at Jody. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what Jody looks like? Jody looks like a grieving mother. She looks like she's grieving. Why doesn't Candace? I'm sorry, I'm going to pick Jody. If I had somebody I was going to believe, it sure as fuck wouldn't be Candace. It's like she hated Summer. Wow. Wow. Holy crap. I don't know how anybody can support him. I really don't. I really don't. Yeah, whoop it, guys. I agree. Summer is the victim. Justice for Summer. Gosh, it makes me want to cry for real.
Like, why would you have called on, apparently? And he thinks there's calls to the cops in too. Seems perplexed that there's not. Either way, there's a problem there. I mean, problem. All right. Because there's somebody leaving, hitting the driveway hard, coming back up while I'm getting ready. And it's something my brain didn't want to quite latch on, want to quite, because it's normal, right? So, but then you always assume to see me and she's right around looking for her, blah, 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 after she's seen you talk, because that's when phone call with Dawn's and when the loud conversation and she's coming down the driveway and so loud you assume that there's another passenger in the vehicle. There's not, it's Dawn on the cell phone. No, you know, that too is a problem for me. Like, well, now, then 5:30 for me, I just don't understand any of it. I just don't understand. Because say the pattern of events goes 6:09 around us, she sees me. She's obviously capable of making a call clearly to Dawn, and it lasts all the way down to her waist, still on the cell phone, on speaker in her hand. When she comes up to me, she's certain Summer's gone, even though the property even still is not searched. The boys had just hit the left side and went off. I was just starting to go in. Then after she pulls off from me, I and another neighbor go in and we all search. And I made up a voice that shows that nobody had searched the whole property before assuming Summer was gone. And we did so. So why the hell are you so certain she's gone? Why is it calling me till 6:21, 6:23? Why are there no yells for Summer until right before 6:09? Especially if you've already come off the hill and you're hitting and coming back up like about a hill somewhere at 5:30 ish. Which holds with Dawn being confused about a freak phone call supposedly going to the police then.
So the Suburban went flying up the driveway like a bat out of hell at around 5:30. She believes that's why Don was confused about that phone call. That's why. Bridget, you're good. Thank you for doing that. Um the Suburban went flying up the driveway like a bat out of hell, she said, around 5:30, and she believes that's why Don was confused about 5:30. That makes so much sense. We need to go back and revisit that. Anybody have the timestamp of that? I believe that happened on shares. Let me know. I'll pull it up right now. We'll listen to it. I have every single live he's ever done. Just let me know which one it was. If it's not up, I'll find it. Just tell me what he was wearing or where he was. Was he outside in the backyard? Was he at the church in the parking lot talking? Where was Don when he talked about that 5:30? I'll grab that and I'll play it. I'll play it on this live stream. We'll compare. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Don getting confused with 5:30 and 6:30. When Don first spoke about this, he said that the call to police went in at 5:30. He didn't even know what time the call was made to law enforcement. Police did not arrive at the Wells property till right around 7. The first solo interview he did. If anybody could find that, I'd be so appreciative. If not, it's okay. We could revisit it later, but I would love to listen to Don talk about that because that's been a long time. Anybody worrying about BK trying to get Candace on panel with Upchurch? In fact, I'd love that. I would love that. You could trust Ryan Upchurch with Summer. He's not going to do Summer wrong. You guys, don't worry about that kind of stuff. Really, he's for Summer. He's for Summer in every single way. Emergency me. Thank you so much for your Cash App. I just saw it flash across my screen. I have my phone on silent, so I wouldn't have noticed. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. You can trust Ryan Upchurch isn't going to do wrong by her, no matter what happens. So no one get nervous. Don't worry. I'm sure he's very much well aware of what's going on. He would. He would, Big Eyes. I believe that. That would be a live stream of the century. Hold on a sec. Don't you get nervous.
And if the cops are saying, and they aren't holding back, and the first calls truly did go in at 620, 621, 623, whatever it is. Okay. And I firmly believe that be the case just because of the time in which they got there. Because the first call's been made to police at 5:30, like apparently she may have told Dawn. It's not going to take them till about 7 to get there. Like I've seen it, the calls don't take about 2 hours to respond to, but I'll tell you the way they were hauling ass that day. They weren't taking their sweet ass time. So it matches for me, that the first calls really weren't put in until 621, 623, and it puts them getting there around 7. So if what's he saying? I don't know. There's been no real clarity because she so swears that she went looking, riding down roads in Hollywood. Whatever. I always took it to mean she did that after, seeing me, but I knew better than that because of knowing where she stopped when she was doing this and other. But maybe she never clarified and she'd actually been out looking for Summer earlier. But the thing is, why the hell were there no calls and yells for Summer? Before I hear that noise, it's a Suburban coming up the hill as I'm putting clothes on. Great. And obviously, even then, nobody, not the boys, not Grandis, not Candace, searched all the property to make sure that Summer wasn't anywhere on
it. Did you guys just hear what she said? Not the boys, not Candace, not Grandis. We're searching the property looking for Summer. Sway, come on. Really? Jesus, Mary, Joseph. Oh my God. Did you hear her just say that not Candace, not Candace, not Grandis, not the boys, none of them were searching and calling for Summer. Not a one. Something's wrong with this picture. Unbelievable.
And even at 609 afterwards, that's still the case. Nobody had searched all of the property or looked down the hill or looked in the creek. Why didn't they start there first before assuming someone was gone? Why did it take until 609 to run into me? And then for the calls to be made 621, 623, and Dawn to be called again in there, right? And I know that call the cops for the 621, 623 had to occur out there in the middle of the road and shit. But hell, if you've got good enough signal to call Dawn for what may be the second time coming down the driveway, then what the hell's the whole brouhaha with freaking phones in the first place? Could have damn well called the police up there at the top hill. So why are you waiting until the bottom hill after seeing me to do that? What the hell's going on there? But me and my dumbass, I assumed that, well, the cops work in mysterious ways and calls are just being held back. And they know she was off there at that time making the first calls, but everything just doesn't quite click until, you know.
All right, so I'm going to play something for you, okay? Listen. Make sure my volume's all the way up.
When did you get there? Do you remember? Well, they say, it's really strange because I thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30, 6:26 is when the first call come in. That could well be. Sometimes I work till sunset, A lot of times I have been here lately, but I thought it was 5:30, but the strange thing of it is when we went to the Hawkins County to do our lie detectors and everything like that, they took all of our phones. And then magically all of our phone records from 3:30 on that day have been deleted.
Really? Wait a minute. So the scream that Jody heard and her son heard and her daughter heard happened between 4:30 and 4:42. And all of their text messages from 3:30 on were deleted? Ain't that some shit? Huh? Imagine that. This is actually very interesting, I think. So I'm going to play it one more time for you guys. Listen here. I'll play it one more time. You need me to turn my volume down? Is it too loud? Maybe it's too close? Here, I'll put my phone right here. Maybe this will be better. I'll put it down just a tiny bit, but I want you to be able to hear.
Time did you get there? Do you remember? Well, they say, it's really strange because I thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30, 6:26 is when the first call come in. And that could well be. Sometimes I work till sunset, A lot of times I have been here lately, but yeah. But I thought it was 5:30, but the strange thing of it is when we went to the Hawkins County to do our lie detectors and everything like that, they took all of our phones. And then magically all of our phone records from 3:30 on that day have been deleted.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole's always coming in clutch. She's always got all the goodies. Anytime I ever ask for anything, she's right on it. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's saving me the time to go look. And this, okay, so hold on a sec. Let me drop this in the chat. She's so good. She even put the link in the timestamp. Let me put this in chat for you guys. It is the 12:47 mark. So right here, Don says, this comes from Chris McDonough at the interview room. I'll put timestamp 12:45. There you go. Grab that. Save it. 12 minutes, 45 seconds. Is that right? 12 minutes, 47? Yeah. So that's from the interview room. Thank you, Nicole, again. All right, let me go back to Jody. You guys, I really think she's hurting. I really do. In all seriousness, I really think Jody is hurting bad.
But I still don't hear this whole bunch of tones like jetting up and down, or in and out of hollows or anything else. Just hear it like one time and it's hitting the rocks hard and going. And then that wire, I don't understand. And then because I have like appropriate people in certain places, but there's nobody to take the whole last puzzle in all pieces. You don't. I don't. And see, that's the thing. Just you have this flash, you have a screen, you have a flash. And then around 5:30, you do have that. It has to be that because your brain doesn't want to do crap with it because it's a normal noise, right? It's something else, you know. And then you're told by well in there that there are calls made from the top. But then as the days were on, the weeks were on, the times are released at 6:21, 6:23. You're like, well, what the hell, you know? That doesn't, and then all these other things that don't make sense then start making you realize that that one noise really doesn't make fucking sense. And then the lack of things don't make sense. Like a lot of things are absent that don't make sense. You assume somebody's searching at least the top of the property, so you'd hear slamming doors and, you know, car doors open and closing, and camper door. You would hear all kinds of noise and movement and piles of stuff being moved to make sure summer's not near. You don't hear any of that. There's none of that. It's so quiet. And that's what sticks with you a few weeks ago. Is things you should.
I'm gonna stop this to ask. Hey Jude, is everything okay? You're not invisible. I just had to scroll up to see what was going on. Is everything okay? Are you trying to ask something? I scrolled all the way up to the top to see what you had said, but I can't see because it's so far up. And there's a lot of people in the chat, so I promise you're not invisible, but I did not see your comments along with probably like 50 other people's comments. I can't catch them all. Sometimes on my StreamYard skips like 50 comments at once. So if there's something you want to say, could you tag me so I could see? You're not invisible. I'm not ignoring anybody, I promise. I had said earlier it was probably going to be hard for me to catch every comment. In fact, it's hard for me to read comments at all because I'm trying to focus on what Jody's saying and I can't read and listen at the same time. You're not invisible. I promise you're not. Is Hey Jude still here? Does anybody know what they were trying to say? Please, so I can press play here. I don't want Hey Jude to feel ignored. Do not come in my chat and do that. Thanks. Bye. Where's Hey Jude? Fucking idiots, these people. Hey Jude gonna say something or so? Hey Jude, you got my attention and now I'm asking. I read that comment. Tiffany, Don said it to Chris M in the first phone call. I read that out loud. Okay, maybe they didn't hear me. I read it. I said it right out loud for them. Okay. Well, hey, Jude, if you're listening, I did read your comment right out loud. I'm pretty sure I put it up on the screen. I just played it from Chris. Okay, let me start back up again.
Should have heard if people were looking, but it's not there. And then you have this one clip. And because you may be semi-biased against this person, you think, nah, it's just more accurate. But you can hear the tone of voice, and it's like, well, I thought that there was calls made to the police at 5:30. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm like, it's odd. Because this would have been around the same time that I'm putting on clothes, starting to get ready, trying to figure out what the day is holding, timing of, all that with Andy. And you don't really have I think for when it's supposed looking for and running through hollers and back and forth roads and all that is taking place, right? You always assume that they mean after 6:09 and after they've seen you, but that's not the case because you have eyes on them most of that time. Even if you're searching, you can see them at the end of the road or they're coming back and forth between the neighbors, whatnot. And hell, just until like recently, like I had assumed that, I had maybe been the reason they were tainted and thought, she was taking her, but it wasn't there. Yeah, I decided in her head that she'd been taken. She was gone. Until I learned that recently, right? And it's like, oh, okay, so for some reason they thought somewhere had already been taken. Prior to hearing me say shit about a screen. Why? Hell, 609, the property hadn't been searched. How the hell are you gonna be certain that she's got like, what the hell? And then if she means that, like Dawn assumes that calls were made at 5:30, then why the hell are there no calls from response or stuff not slamming, moving around? Why is there not? Why are you already so certain? Why are you looking up and down the roads anyway? If that's when those events were taking place, supposedly, because there's no real timeline for that. At least not that I've heard, not from C. But if that's when the supposed random monk was happening, well, why the hell wouldn't you check the property first to be yelling for summer first too? Then, right? And even at 6:09, when what the hell's up that length of time between that? Because that's still a pretty good length of time going up the driveway to then, not running to me until 6:09 a little after. But you have perfect signal to call on up there. But don't call the police up there. And also, somehow Dawn's under the impression that the first call to police should have been 5:30. And apparently, call was made to him for him to have that impression at 5:30. But not the police then either. And that's if assuming that's when she's running around. Supposedly in that hollers and whatever else. I don't hear that. I do hear that Suburban hits fucking driveway a little harder than normal. And I can tell it's him because of the weight on it and the rocks and stuff, but because of the chaos, it takes a little while to make sure of, and you assume it's something, and you hear that, well, you know, she called on top of the hill and blah blah blah, and so you just assume, well, the cops know about that and whatever else, and you roll on with it, right? But then as the pieces start to fall, you realize that it may not be the case. I don't know why not. I don't know. It's been a little easier as I've stepped back from my brain to kind of, you know, there's just so much funky shit. But June 15th, and some of it so like, and I still have this, I don't know, I still feel this overwhelming thing that just says crap after a certain point that day was a play. Like it was put on purpose at certain times for witnesses, right? But I could be wrong. There's just so much that doesn't make sense. And then like the weeks, after learning that the calls, weren't made until 6:21, 6:23, I still get, well, there's calls that they feel back from the public. They know she was off the hill. They know that, so that they would have known that she probably went to the church. Since there's this big thing by Candace Ray the whole time about how she threw one phone down and, about the other and blah, blah. But, there's funky stuff to that too, but kind of maybe chasing the wrong things as well. Um, and then recently learning that they thought for some reason that Summer was gone, even prior to running into me. When Grant Sloan spoke on the interviews, it's like, what the? Because all this time, man, I'd worried that I had tainted them. But nope. Looks like for some reason they already thought Summer was gone. Like they'd been taking. Well, how the hell are you going to be, sir? I don't. And now, I don't think there are other calls from on top of the hill like they told me. And that right there is curious to me too, considering they're fully capable of making them since she was already on the phone with Dawn coming down some bitch when she runs into me. So she's fully capable of making calls to Dawn that day. Dawn thinks there's a phone call at 5:30 to the police. The police are like, no, 6:21, 6:23. I just don't, I don't know. I've thought that for a while, why not? But only since, being able to see some other pieces, right? And the slips and the weird shit like pulling back timeline 2 hours to whatever, and like a couple months ago, and others took the info and went with it, and were at least cool enough to get the clips I was talking about on the lives and things, which was that kind of weird that Candace was supposedly there, but one of the clips, I was like, y'all remember? I was like, can't find it, but in one of the clips, she says that she's in watching TV with the boys when the scream happens, and that's why she missed it, but the neighbor heard. But then, how does, it don't make sense, obviously. It's like Emily and I run the pieces after somebody took what I was saying, put it together in clip form, and then found the pieces I was looking for on, um, the interviews and things she done where it was, okay, well, she's supposed to be over Branda's putting a knee brace on, and here she is placing herself when a scream happens. Well, that's like, wait a minute, how would you not? But you're supposedly inside now, watch two boys put your hair, but I mean, none of that shit makes sense. And then, like, I've never really heard a timeline from her for when she was supposed to be running up and down the hollows, but I always assumed she meant after 609. Right? After Remaining Man, I knew that wasn't the case. Because despite searching, I could see where people were coming and going from, and all that. So, does she actually mean this? What I think is now false time? Dawn also seems genuinely confused the fuck about, which also coincides with the sound I hear her going up the hill in that Suburban as I'm getting ready. But it's not a whole bunch from back and forth or anything. Like me personally, if I think my kid's gone or not there, I'm gonna walk out and walk the banks and ridges like I've done before. Like because then my eldest would be a little bit further. He couldn't hear me, especially after the surgery. When he got outside and he'd be doing his thinking time and all that. Whatever. And I'd be like, boogie, boogie. And it would, and I would look over the property in places I knew he would be or could be first, and then, I'd find him. And it wasn't that he was lost, it's just that he was hanging out a little further, having him time somewhere away from the house, and he couldn't hear me. It was it. It was just that simple. I didn't freak out, I wasn't frantic, I wasn't panicking or anything. But for me, if I'm looking for my kid, I'm going to be out home for it. I'm going to go around the property I like first, right? Wouldn't immediately jet out and be looking around hollows or doing this and the other and shit. Uh, you'd have other kids join in at a certain point and be doing whatever, but you'd make sure your own property was searched first. And that's what bothers me about the past few weeks and statements made. They already had an idea and saying some were gone before even running into me and hearing me say about screaming at 6:09ish, right? A little after. But if what she means is that she was out running around in hollows and doing whatever else for summer when I hear that Suburban hit the rocks. Right. Then why the hell would you be doing it? Would you hack and search property then yet either? You still, and then if that's the case, then when you do come back, right? Because remember, what I hear is her going up the damn driveway. That's what I'm getting ready. So hear that. It means another 30 plus minutes goes by. And still no property search. Then it's 6:09, still no property search until I and the boys go left and I go around with the other neighbor to the other side, and we're searching. But you're running around again. This time you're on the phone going, you're coming down the driveway. Well, why in the hell couldn't the cops been called up there? Because you had cell phone service enough to call on all the way down the driveway, all the way at the end of it. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand a bit of it. And then I assume, that what I hear from all the other events are current, I assume that's when she's making the call, that I've been told exists. So I just don't say anything. Like, I just assume cops are next is when the first call was placed. So then until I hear otherwise, I don't know that's not the case. And then for a while, I'm like, well, they're keeping it back from the public, first calls were, but then it's like, wait a minute. There's no way. There's no way. So now I'm left like, well, what the? And I just don't know. How the hell are you so certain she's gone? And if you're certain it's the case to be looking for at 5:30, then Yeah, why not? I'll let go of that idea the other day as far as the. I mean, I no longer feel like I'm going time because other own mounds came the other day that they, for some reason, even before running into me, thought some had been taken. So trust me, the other day I know those interviews come out, and I know that they now, for some reason, believe someone was taken and gone before running me. That was another hinky piece of what hell puzzle there, but yeah, so it relieved me somewhat wondering if I detained him. So yeah, there's something. But I mean, I just didn't assume this piece where I hear the Suburban hit the driveways and think big. I figure it's the cops holding something back. I figure it's something. Then there's all these other little pieces, come in and you realize the timing it's not. But the first calls probably did truly not come in until 6:21, 6:23. And there's a good possibility that Don was actually lied to, and that sound and tone you hear in his voice is absolute just because I was, like you can hear it, this confusion. It's not quite that. But honestly, who knows? It could just be part of the mudslinging shit show. Yeah, that's what confuses me too, though. If at 5:30 he got a call from her saying she was calling the police then, and they were all under the impression that Summer was gone, then why at 6:09 after did he pop up on the damn cell phone speaker go in pan voice? So you're telling me somebody took my baby girl? When that's not what I said, I'll just start screaming. But for some reason, he thought the first calls, and he's perplexed that they didn't. He said, well, cops are saying 6:21, 6:23, but I could have sworn it's 5:30 when they go in. Well, then why in the hell are you so, like, you know what I mean? He's already assumed that at 5:30 something's wrong, and that Kansas has made calls to police. So why at 6:09 somebody took my baby girl?
Yes. The Suburban on the Wells property, let me see who asked that question, McBro. So it says, so Candace took the green truck to search first, then Grandis's truck at 6:09. Sounds like it. From what Jodisue's explaining, that Suburban went flying up the driveway at 5:30. And she said it was hauling ass up the driveway. And then at 6:09, Candace was headed back down in Grandis's truck with Don on speakerphone in the car saying, are you telling me someone took my baby girl? And no searching for Summer. No calling for her, no yelling for her, nothing.
Girl, but I never said that to her scream. I was sorry that know this and other, and that I was already looking, that I tried to yell at her, but she couldn't hear me from where I was. And I was going back to look, so like, but I never said, hey, somebody took Summer. I never said, anything to really imply me screaming or saying her screaming, sorry, I didn't know, it. No, it doesn't imply somebody took her immediately because I got to tell you, some of my first thoughts weren't necessarily that. Um, Especially with key moments and all those events after I reached the driveway. But at 5:30, if it really is going down, and that correlates with the Suburban going up the damn driveway, and calls weren't made and aren't being held back from the public, and Dawn's confused about why the police aren't called at 5:30. And then what the hell happens to those other minutes in there? Why are there still not calls for Summer? Why is the property still not being searched? Why are phones swapped out? I mean, like, what the hell is going on? And then something so mundane that you like your brain on that, and you assume it's connected to like real calls that really come in at some point, and the police are just holding it, and the public doesn't know about. Then you have to go, well, I could sworn first calls were 5:30. the cops were saying 621, 6 whatever, you know. So if that holds true, the cops genuinely were not called, and I think that to be the case just because of the timing when they arrived. So what the hell was a Suburban doing coming up at somewhere around 5:30ish? And then if she was worried enough to call Dawn in, despite not looking over the property first, then why in the hell was she going back and then still not call the police, still not search the property, and then come back off of there after 6:09 and run into me, and then make the calls a few minutes after that? As the property is finally being searched by others, the boys go down the left, I take the right along with the other neighbor. Like, what the hell is all of that? Suburban. Tahoe, whatever the fuck that thing is, her mom's. But it's heavier, it makes different sound. But I mean, whatever damn vehicle it is that her mom drives, plus they have one lock, but it's cream. Her mom's is like that gold silver color. That is what I hear hitting the driveway, going up like harder as I'm putting on gloves. But it's the noise I'm used to. It's one that's just like, meh, you know. And I assume because I'm told very early on by them that the first calls are made at, and think anything of it, right? And it's such a man, you know, like, I don't, I don't know. Look, Susan, I found half of that stuff unbelievable because I watched the after she had was supposedly fixed and it told me she was fixed. Oopsie, on one of her Facebook accounts that time, they make a pregnancy announcement. And I was talking about age or another friend of mine's son she hung out with.
Have faith in me too. That is a great question because it was something I wanted to talk about. And I think I'm going to have to handle a bunch of this stuff later. I don't know, maybe not even today. It depends. Um, there's so what I wanted to do was I wanted to play Jody and then I wanted to incorporate all of the pieces that fit, but I don't think right now is the right time to do it because I don't want the message to get lost. So what I'm going to do is and remember, have faith in me too. He said, and remember when he was driving into, no, we don't do this. So remember when he was driving to the shed and he was coming from the house and he said, we turned in here. He changed it to I. Why did Don go straight to the shed when he got home? Who was he with? Who did he turn into the driveway for the shed with? I don't believe Don was alone at all. So great question because you just tripped up my memory. I have a bunch of things that I want to cover when it comes to exactly what Jodisue is talking about, but I'm going to save it for a completely different live stream. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you over to Jodisue's channel to finish this. The link is pinned. Oh, no, it's not pinned, actually. Hold on one sec. Let me unpin this. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here in the chat. Okay. And, oops. Hold on just a sec. This is the link for Jodisue's. Now, I got through here an hour and 25 minutes. So we're halfway through. To finish, go here. And there's a live stream going on right now. Make sure when you show up there, you tell them I sent you. Jose is on panel. So go stop by, say hi to Jose, and tell Jose that Tiffany Marie sent you. All right. I'll be back soon, guys. I have to run a few errands. Go listen to what Jose has to say. Show love in that chat and make sure you tell him where you came from. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. We're going to come back and revisit this because it's super important. And when I do that, I'm going to cover all of the things that fit into exactly what Jodisue is talking about. Jodisue has by far the closest timeline, I think. It's the only one that makes sense, actually. Literally the only thing that makes sense. It just does. I don't know why, but it does. So check out that live stream with Jose. And is AB going live later? Hold on a sec. Let me check. I don't know if he's going live on his thing. Let me see. It was set up, but I don't know when for. Nicole or one of my mods, do you have AB's link for his next live? Let me see. AB. I think he might be doing it on his main channel, but I don't know time. Make sure you don't miss this. Trying to find it. I had it. It was all set up. Why don't I see it scheduled any? All right, maybe it's not scheduled anymore. I don't think so. All right. Yeah, I don't see it scheduled. Oh, Nicole has it. Don't forget to sub. Oh, no, that's his channel link. There's a live phone call. Oh, I thought he was on panel. Oh, it's a phone call? How do we know it's Jose then? Do we even know it's Jose? I guess I'll have to go check it out. Make sure you click on that link that Nicole just dropped and set your reminder for AB too. I can't see what time it's at, but I'll be there. Love you guys. Oh, it was recorded yesterday, but wait, but how do we know it's him? I thought he was on panel. That's why I was sending everybody over there. I'll have to check it out. So Bridget has AB's live. 51 minutes. Okay, so in 51 minutes, head to AB's, please. I think he's got something planned. He's got something up his sleeve. He's been busy. And I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe I'll come back this evening because there's seriously like multiple things that I want to discuss. And I don't want this to get lost in the riffraff. Like I want people to pay attention to this information Jodisue's dropping. actually really, really, really important. So I will go into Discord and I'll put that time stamp for sure. And we'll be back, guys. Thank you to everybody that showed up. Thank you for everyone who continues to support Summer. And stop by say Jodisue's, okay? Alicia, I got in touch with Ryan. He is he has my phone number. And we spoke in the beginning of the case. I don't want to bother him. He can message me, he can call me, he can text me. And he's a mod here. He's a moderator in my chat. He's been here before, so he knows where I am. If he wants to talk to me, he'll find me. I don't like to pry, you know? I don't like to insert myself. But anyhow, I will catch up with you guys soon. Maybe in a couple hours or so after AB or something. Much love, prayers for Summer, and talk to you guys later. Bye.